Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Twin Carbs. And perhaps I should have introduced this video by saying aloha, because today we are off to the sun-drenched shores of the River Clyde, Dunoon to be precise. And yes, you've guessed it, you probably heard the windscreen wipers there. It's raining as usual. Yeah, today we're off to Dunoon. There is a motorsport event happening in the Cowal Peninsula this weekend, and they need some data network connectivity provided for scorekeeping and timekeeping and things. So off to do that little job. But it'll be my first time getting on a ferry in this car, and today again I'm in the MG ZS EV, and I'm taking this as a bit of a challenge. Now, it's been quite warm in Scotland for the past couple of days. Today it's less warm, shall we say, and I was delighted this morning. I normally get a range displayed on the gasometer in this car of about 140 miles fully charged, sometimes slightly more. Today when I switched on, it was advertising a range of about 158 miles, which I thought was quite extraordinary. I'm about, let me see, 18 miles into the journey, and it's displaying 137, so that's actually pretty accurate. It's about 155, assuming that I get that range. Now that's going to be important today, because I'm going to try and get to Dunoon and get back again in the one day. It's going to be relatively, well, I don't know how challenging this job's going to be, because it's a bit of an unknown, but hopefully I'll be leaving there before 10 o'clock tonight, which is the time for the last ferry. So, but importantly, I wanted to make sure I could do this trip without having to recharge. There are quite a few chargers across Scotland. I think there's only one, possibly two, in the vicinity around Dunoon, where we're going. However, they are only like 7 kilowatt fast chargers, type 2 chargers. So probably not going to be, it's going to take a long time to charge. They're quite a distance from where I'm going to be working, so not entirely convenient, and time's going to be of the essence today. So I'm pretty confident we can do this on a single charge. If need be, on the return trip, there are advertised some rapid chargers fairly close to where I'm going. All of them seem to be indicating some kind of problem or other, so whether we can use them or not, it's a mystery. But that's all part of the excitement of driving an electric car. Funnily enough, I was out in one of my petrol vehicles yesterday, and I've become so accustomed to driving the electric car that I wasn't keeping an eye on the petrol gauge, because I've got over looking at my petrol gauge every time I pass a petrol station. So as a result, I found myself driving along a motorway and noticed that the fuel light was on. I had no idea how long that had been on for, how much fuel I had left, and talk about range anxiety. So it happens in petrol and diesel cars as well. But today I'm fairly confident that we're going to be able to do this. Interesting about the increase in range, or the perceived increase in range. It'll be good to see exactly what we get, because obviously that's been when the battery was charging up yesterday. Nice sunny temperatures around about 18-19 degrees. We're down at probably about 10 or 11 today. And are we going to get the same real-time mileage out of the battery in this cooler weather? I doubt it, but yeah, I'm keen to give it a go. The downside today is that because, well, as usual, when I'm out in the MG, it means I'm generally out in a job, and the boot is absolutely crammed full of tools, because you know I haven't surveyed the job. There's a few oddities about it already that I've been told about, so I'm trying to take as much equipment and tools with me as possible, so that I don't have to do another trip back tomorrow or whatever. This installation is going to be fairly short term, and I'll be back in about 4 or 5 days time to strip it all out again and collect all the equipment. So but an interesting job nonetheless. So we're just coming into Glasgow just now. I'll touch base with you again when I get to the other side, when we're getting closer to I guess Greenock. The ferry leaves from Gourock. I think I've got to pick tickets up in Greenock somewhere, so we'll catch up with you again there. Talk to you soon. So I mentioned earlier about the equipment and tools I've got in the boot, so obviously carrying a lot of weight, that's going to affect the range, but probably not massively. The temperature's also going to affect the range, and a lot of this journey, certainly into Glasgow and through Glasgow out the other side to Greenock, is motorway. And you know, I'm not one for slipstreaming behind lorries at 55 to try and you know, eke that extra half a mile out the range. So it is you know, a real test, if you like. I do tend to drive at 70 on the motorways. I don't see the point of sitting at 55 unless that's the speed limit, obviously. But so I'm getting my excuses in early, basically. That's what I'm saying. We're now, what, 33 miles into the journey, and range is still showing 122, which equates to the like circa 155 miles that were advertised. If I get that today, I'll be absolutely delighted. All the way to Dunoon. I have to stress that the route I'm taking today is known as the short route, i.e. there's like a 15 or 20 minute ferry ride from Gourock across to Dunoon. The alternative is a beautifully scenic route up the side of Loch Lomond, across the Rest and Be Thankful, and then driving down the Cowal Peninsula. But it's probably, you know, 2 or 3 times the distance, and once you get off, certainly up past Loch Lomond, then the roads aren't great, so it would take a lot longer, and I would certainly have to charge in Dunoon before I made the return journey, which, if I was staying overnight, perfect. My challenge is that I have another job in Edinburgh tomorrow, so I need to be there for 9 o'clock, so I don't have the option. And then of course later this week I need to be back in Dunoon to do the strip out. All part of a fantastic life. Now, you know, I know a lot of people complain about having to drive and tour around, but okay, this part of Scotland on a motorway isn't particularly wonderful, but you know, the scenery around Scotland, particularly as you go up the west coast and into the Highlands, certainly more than makes up for it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this one.
Prepare to turn sharp right after half a mile.
Yep, that'll be the ferry then. I'm probably just going to miss this one, knowing my luck, but we shall give it a try. Mind you, there are a lot of vehicles coming this way, so it is very likely that it's just come in, and that'll be the cars coming off. I see there's cars going on, so I'm just going to up the pace a bit.
After 300 yards, turn sharp right, then take the ferry.
Can I go this one? Need to go that one. Right.
After 90 yards, turn sharp right. Take the ferry.
Well, that was very fortunate. Bonk. So somewhere along here I've got Google Maps set up on my Android phone, and it should tell me when we're turning off and heading for the destination. So we're in Dunoon, 60 miles. Showing 96 on the GOM, which is 156 of range, which I'm delighted with. I guess that's a combination of the good weather we've been having and obviously the excellent driving skills. Maybe not. Okay, so that's the job done. Now heading back to the ferry terminal. That'll take me back across to Guruk, and then it's probably an hour and a half drive from there. Just missed the ferry, and it's going to be a while. Oh, the next one's just coming in actually, so that's all good. Yeah, so just that's us finished the job. Everything worked, which is fantastic. Go back in a few days' time and take it all out again. So yeah, all good stuff. And just watching one ferry going out as there's another one coming in. So I'm not going to have too long to wait here. I've probably got another hour and a half after that to do a 60-mile drive back home. Currently having done 64 miles so far, got another 90 still in the GOM, so getting amazing mileage today, quite happy with it. And let's see what happens at the at this ferry. Looks like everybody's queuing up. So there we are, that's the crossing done. Just a case of driving all the way back now. Just to update where we are on the 90 miles still on the GOM, and 60 odd, 65, 66 miles completed. So getting quite good range today, which is excellent. Still got more than 50%, probably 60% of battery, and we'll do this easily within the range. So we'll pick it up again when we're closer to home. Right, so here we are, done 55 miles since leaving Dunoon, got less than 10 to go. I've got 32 on the GOM, so we're well within range fantastically. 3.4 miles per kilowatt hour I've been getting. I have to say I haven't been sparing the horses, sitting at 70 miles an hour on the motorways, and cars performed extremely well. So looking forward to I'll probably actually go for a charge before I go home. What I like to do is use the rapid chargers, and there's one quite close to home, and then take that up to maybe 80, sometimes 90%, and then plug in when I do get home, just to top it off, and obviously it balances the batteries at that point as well. So I have another busy day tomorrow, so I need to be on a full charge again, so we'll probably do that. Right, so that's me coming off the motorway now, and let's go to the charger. Okay, so we've arrived at the rapid charger. It's actually in use just now, so I've got a bit of a wait, but I thought I'd show you the gasometer. We still have 34 miles remaining, having achieved something like 125, let's say. So that's as good as 160 miles of range. I'm only a couple of miles away from home, so I'd call that a success. I will top it up when I get back home. Well, that was certainly worth doing. Started charging. There were a couple of people in front of me actually, which was interesting. That's unusual. However, when I did get on, I had like 26% of charge left, charge remaining, which was more than enough to get me back up the road here. And I charged that up to 81% in the space of about 30 or 40 minutes. Interestingly, again, by the time I was finished charging, there was another 3 cars behind me in the queue. So it only goes to show, really, that the rise in the use of EVs is increasing at a tremendous rate. So, you know, when I first got this car 7 months ago or so, I'd be the only person at the charger. Occasionally somebody would turn up and say, "Oh, can you show me how to use the charger?" And now there's lots of people, not only with EVs, but gaining in confidence as to how to drive them and how to charge them, etc. Anyway, I've done the last couple of miles up to the house. I'm now going to put it on my home charger, and that'll take it from 81% up to 100%, and will also balance the battery. It's an AC charger, so it's an AC supply, so it's feeding the charger that's already built into the car, and that'll allow us to top off the battery and do the balance as well. So all good for tomorrow. As I said, I've got an early start again. I'm going to be in Edinburgh for 9 a.m, but I know that I've got a full tank of fuel, if you like, and which is a good thing. But an even better thing is that it hasn't cost me a penny. in as much as the rapid charger is a Charge Place Scotland charger, and many of the chargers from CPS are still free, which is absolutely brilliant. And I think, well done Charge Place Scotland for not only investing in so many chargers, but still allowing many of them to be free. I know that some council authorities have started charging for them now, and there's good reasons for that. But I never ever got any free diesel or petrol, and I've done a 120 odd mile round trip, and I haven't had to pay for the fuel, which is absolutely brilliant. So they're doing the bit to encourage ICE drivers to convert over to EV, which is absolutely fantastic. So that's it for this episode of Twin Carbs. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, thumbs up, like it, and subscribe. Thanks to all of you who have already subscribed to the channel. It's been absolutely amazing. And again, if you've enjoyed it, then hopefully we'll see you again on Twin Carbs. Bye for now.